The distress beacon cut through the void like a knife, its signal weak but unmistakable. James Caldwell adjusted his salvage vessel's sensors, frowning at the readings. Out here 3 weeks beyond the Terran frontier, distress calls were either traps or tragedies. He'd seen both. Picking up life signs, his ship's AI announced. Single occupant, non-human. James hesitated. Non-human could mean a lot of things. The galaxy had opened up to humanity only 40 years ago, and the welcome hadn't exactly been warm. Most alien species viewed humans as primitives, dangerous ones at that, but James had never been able to ignore someone in trouble. Plot intercept course, he muttered. The vessel came into view an hour later, and James let out a low whistle. It was elegant, all flowing curves and bioluminescent panels that pulsed weakly like a dying heartbeat. Definitely not human design. The craft was maybe twice the size of his salvage ship, sleek where his was utilitarian, beautiful where his was scarred and it was dying. Hull breach on the port side, primary power offline, life support at 30%. The AI reported. James suited up and crossed the void between ships. The airlock opened with a hiss that sounded almost relieved, and he stepped into a corridor that seemed grown rather than built. The walls were smooth, lit by bioluminescent strips that flickered uncertainly. He found her on the bridge. She was tall, taller than any human, with skin that shimmered between deep violet and midnight blue. Her eyes were large, golden, with vertical pupils that fixed on him with a mixture of fear and desperate hope. She wore something that looked like living fabric, flowing around her like water. "Please," she said in accented but clear English, her translator working despite the ship's failing systems. "Please help me." James held up his hands in what he hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "I'm here to help." "What happened?" "Micrometeor storm. Shields failed. I've been drifting for 6 days." Her voice cracked with exhaustion. "My ship is dying. I am dying with it." James moved to what looked like a control panel, though it was unlike anything in human databases. "Let me see what I can do." "You cannot," she said flatly. "Your species is too ... primitive. No offense intended. Our technology is beyond human understanding." "Yeah, I've heard that before." James was already scanning the systems with his Omni, a hybrid device that had gotten him out of more jams than he could count. "Lady, I've jury-rigged everything from Kree stasis pods to Vorthan plasma drives. Your ship might be fancy, but engineering is engineering." She stared at him. "I am Aliana of the Celestial Dominion. My people have mastered faster than light travel for 3,000 years. Great. I'm James from Pittsburgh, and I've been fixing impossible problems since I was 12. He pulled open an access panel, revealing a tangle of what looked like glowing nerves. "Now, you want to live or you want to argue about which monkey can use tools better?" For a moment, she said nothing. Then, incredibly, she laughed a sound like wind chimes. "Fix my ship, human. Prove me wrong." James worked for 16 hours straight. Aliana watched in growing astonishment as he traced power flows, rerouted systems, and fabricated replacement components from materials in his salvage hold. He spoke to himself as he worked, a constant stream of muttered calculations and curses that she found oddly endearing. The human approach was so different from her people's, where Celestials would replace entire system clusters. James repaired individual connections, where they relied on biological integration. He created mechanical bypasses. It was crude, inelegant, and absolutely brilliant in its practicality. "Your species doesn't just adapt technology," she observed. "You make it adapt to you." James looked up, grease smeared across his face. "We're not the smartest, not the strongest, not the most advanced, but we're stubborn as hell and we figure things out. That's what humans do." On the 17th hour, the ship hummed to life. Lights blazed along the corridors, systems came online with musical tones, and the life support cycled to full capacity. Aliana stood on the bridge, tears streaming down her face as her ship, her companions since birth, sang its recovery. "You did it," she whispered. "You actually did it." James slumped against a wall, exhausted. "Told you, engineering is engineering." Aliana turned to him, and something shifted in her expression. Among her people, there were debts that transcended simple gratitude. He had saved not just her life, but her ship, her bonded companion, the living vessel that was part of her identity. Such a debt demanded more than words. She approached him slowly, gracefully, and knelt before him. "James Caldwell of Pittsburgh, human engineer, you have given me back my life and my bondship. By the ancient laws of my people, I offer myself to you. My service, my loyalty, my companionship, all that I am is yours, should you accept." James blinked. fatigue giving way to shock. Whoa, hold on. You don't owe me anything like that. It's what anyone would do. No, her golden eyes held his. It is what you would do. What your species would do. The galaxy calls humans dangerous, unpredictable, primitive, but I see now what they truly fear. What's that? Your kindness, she said softly. Your inability to leave someone in need. Your ridiculous, beautiful refusal to accept limitations. She stood, elegant and regal despite everything. I will not force my presence upon you, James Caldwell, but know that my life debt stands. Should you ever need me, call and I will come across any distance. James rubbed his face, leaving another grease streak. Can I start with you not calling me primitive anymore? She smiled a genuine, warm expression. You are not primitive, James, you are human, and I am beginning to understand that may be the most remarkable thing in the galaxy. They stood together on the bridge as her ship finished its repairs. Two beings from vastly different worlds, connected by the simplest and most profound of human traits, the willingness to help. 3 months later, when James's salvage ship was ambushed by pirate, a sleek celestial vessel dropped out of FTL with weapons blazing. Aliana's voice came over his calm, fierce and protective. No one harms my human engineer. James grinned, firing up his own weapons. Thought you Celestials were above this sort of thing. You are teaching me bad habits, she replied, and he could hear the smile in her voice. Shall we show them what a human and a Celestial can do together? Now you're talking my language. The pirates never stood a chance. In the aftermath, as they docked their ships side by side, Aliana appeared on his bridge. She looked at him for a long moment, then said, I have a proposition. Yeah. The galaxy doesn't understand humans, but they will, and when they do, it would be good to have someone who can bridge both worlds. Partner with me, James. Let's show them what your species can really do. James extended his hand, a human gesture she'd learned. Partners, she took it, her grip warm and strong. Partners, and so began the legend of the human engineer and the celestial warrior. The partnership that would change the galaxy's understanding of humanity forever. Because humans weren't just survivors or fighters or innovators, they were all of it. Together. And they never left anyone behind. That was what made them truly dangerous. That was what made them magnificent.